Okay, the Boise Parks and Recreation Commission meeting, regular monthly meeting, February 20th, will come to order. Can I get a roll call?
Okay. Burnham,
Here.
Johnson. She's on, I see her. Mazu,
Here.
Raber. Stidham,
Here.
Urban,
Here.
Faber, Walker. Okay, that's it.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda is the consent item for the Riverside Hospitality Group River Access Permitting. Do I have a motion to approve the Riverside Hospitality Group River Access permitting to the Planning and Zoning Commission?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving right along. We have to approve the minutes of the last meeting. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the January 16th, 2025 commission meeting?
To approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next up, we have the 10-minute walk initiative. Sarah?
All right. Good afternoon, commission members. I'm happy to be here with you today. Usually Doug Holloway is in this seat representing our Parks Department, but you get the Parks Resources Superintendent today. So it's my pleasure to be here and to see you all, and thank you for your service. We're going to go over our 10-minute walk to a park initiative and provide an update on where we're at here in 2025. I can't believe I'm still not used to saying 2025. It's been 8 years since we initiated this effort. It has been a guiding principle or a guiding light for how we approach park property acquisition and how we are planning for complete coverage for all of our families so that everyone has an opportunity to walk to a park within 10 minutes of their homes or an open space reserve. So in 2017, we joined 134 other cities across the country. This initiative was really spearheaded by the Trust for Public Land, which is a not-for-profit organization that advocates for access to public lands and outdoor recreation opportunities with the understanding that it provides mental, physical, and social benefits for our citizens. Our commitment today, as it was in 2017, is to provide every family with access to a park or an open space reserve within a 10-minute walk of their home. When we started this initiative, we were at about 60% coverage, excuse me. And over the course of the last 8 years have been able to grow that by 13%. This is a busy slide, so I'll take a few minutes here. But it is a wonderful kind of timeline of what we've been able to accomplish in the last 8 years with partnership from many different and many diverse partners. This effort would not be successful if we did not have a clear initiative that was able to attract partnerships. And I think the 10-minute walk initiative has done just that. So as I said, this timeline provides kind of an update on what we've been able to accomplish over the last 8 years. Northwest Foothills purchase that $630,000 from the Open Space and Clean Water Levy funds to purchase 29 acres was below market value. Again, we had a private landowner who bought into the mayor and council's vision for a 10-minute walk initiative and really put skin in the game to participate and support that effort. Same in 2022, land was donated to the city at that time by Settlers Canal. And this particular, I know the commission has heard about this project and our council's heard about this project a lot, but the park site at Goddard Road really was literally a dumping ground, a forgotten strip of land that had become a problem for the neighborhood, for the adjacent school district. The Capitol High is right across the street, and for the property owner. And so it was through a partnership of, like I said, the community, the school district, and the property owner, that land was then donated so we could develop it into a unique linear park that we will be opening this next month. In 2023, we were able to work with a landowner who was planning to develop high density single family homes, wanted to participate in this vision, and had property that they were interested in selling to the city below market value within an area of high need. And that's something I'll get into a little bit more in the next slide, how we identify where we need to be focusing our efforts. 2024 Primrose Park, that property was a longtime city property that went back and forth between uses, but we were able to add it as a park and add over 2,000 residents to our 10-minute walk initiative. In 2024, you will recall just recently, we were able to close on a property that's in West Boise. Again, at or below market value in a high need area, increasing the opportunity for thousands of residents. And we'll be opening this spring the Peaslee Stairway Connection. This is again, partnership between the neighborhood and the city. There had been a long-term effort on behalf of many neighbors up on the bench who wanted to create a safer connection into Ann Morrison Park and down to the Greenbelt, off of Americana or off of Capitol. And this Peaslee Stairway Connection, through the use of open space and clean water levy funds, provides almost 2,000 residents with an opportunity to have a safe walk or bike, because you can take your bike down that runnel into Ann Morrison Park. So these are successes to be celebrated. A lot of hard work by our Parks Department and by the legal department, who helps us with every one of these agreements. And by committee members from the Open Space and Clean Water Advisory Committee who participate in funding some of these projects. So as I said, we've grown that percentage by 13% in the last 8 years, and I'm excited to see what the next 8 to 10 years will bring. So I mentioned before, we have identified high need areas, and this is actually with the help of the Trust for Public Lands. They put together a matrix of criteria that are then applied to identify areas of high need for parks. So it's not just, can you walk to a park within 10 minutes, but it's also looking at the socioeconomic demographics and the particular need of a community. So in the last 8 years, going from 60% to 73%, we've been able to add this, 10-minute walk opportunity for 30,000 of our residents. And as you can see, the Welford site, the Shamrock site, and the Goddard site were all, well, actually, I can't tell from this picture, within areas of either high need or moderate need. Here are some of those factors that are equally weighted across that 10-minute walk analysis. Like I said, population density, density of underserved households, people of color, if there's any environmental justice issues or opportunities for us to provide benefit through parks for mental and physical health, we take that into consideration when identifying those priority areas. So after the last 8 years, our map has modified slightly. I think I don't have a pointer. I don't know. I don't think I have a pointer on here, but I think it's interesting to see that there's there's some spaces that are no longer on here. And we are making a dent, so to speak, for our community members and trying to provide everyone with an appropriate level of service. So where do we go from here? We're going to continue to evaluate priority areas and try to work with property owners to acquire or purchase properties that benefit our community. We work with local brokers to help us as well, to if there's properties that we can proactively reach out to property owners if they're interested in providing a park space. I'm consistently and happily impressed with this community's continued commitment to parks and the interest in on their behalf to participate in ways that are meaningful for them. We still have some work to do in West Boise and in Southwest Boise and in Southeast Boise, and we will continue to chip away over the next few years. And as I said, we look to leverage different funding sources. So once we acquire, a piece of property, we still hope to develop it so that it can be utilized and enjoyed. And we look for impact fee dollars, general fund dollars, open space levy fund dollars, donations, neighborhood investment grant, philanthropy, and I think we kind of pride ourselves in being scrappy and being able to bring a diverse group of funding sources together to get good work done. So thank you. I know I kind of ran through that kind of quickly, but I think the takeaway is we're doing it and we will continue to do it. And we're very grateful for the community and its support of this effort. And I look forward to coming back in another maybe 5 years and updating you again on where we're at. And you can look forward to probably seeing some more acquisitions in our future.
Great, that's fantastic. Thank you, Superintendent Arkell. Does anybody, commissioners or Councilmember Morales, have comments or questions for Superintendent Arkell?
Got a question. Peasley, I live in the bench in that particular neighborhood. Do you know what the updated opening timeline is?
Yeah, as with construction projects, if any of you have experience with construction projects, there's a lot of factors that are outside of the project manager's control. We are currently waiting for the contractor to do some fixes and for final inspections. And that's kind of where we're at. So we're really hopeful that we'll be able to open up in the next month, assuming that the weather holds, because some of those fixes are determined, or timelines are determined by weather. But we're like so close.
Cool, thank you. And people are super excited for it.
Yes,
It's
and
an
I'm glad to
awesome
hear that.
addition. Yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Anybody else? Well, I thank you. I'm pretty excited about this. And I'm very proud to be in a city that had that much forethought. And yeah, it's one of the reasons we're in the top 25 cities in the country right now. So I think the next thing on the agenda is the Boise Depot Centennial update.
We're just going to keep the good times rolling. I am Bonnie Shelton, Superintendent of Communications and Marketing. It's great to see you all here, and thank you for having me to give you an update and hopefully get you excited for this big celebration that we've been planning for more than a year now. In case you haven't heard, the Depot turns 100 in April. So it's a big milestone for this important building that holds a lot of history for our community. And so we've been working to put together a series of events that really help celebrate just how important it is to the city of Boise and everyone who lives here. First and foremost, we really wanted to set a goal as we're planning, because we knew we wanted to offer a variety of opportunities and really hit those 3 words that you see there: free, accessible, and fun. We want families to be able to come and really create unique experiences for people to learn about this building, the history of rail in our city, and envision the future of what the depot and transportation can look like as our city continues to grow. Mark your calendar. We're going to have 4 days of events. It's Sunday, April 13th, which is traditionally our open house day at the Depot weekly, through Wednesday, April 16th. And that 16th is the true anniversary date. The Depot opened to the public on April 16th, 1925. So we're planning a big birthday celebration, and I'll kind of outline what those 4 days will look like for you a little bit later. But I have not done this alone. I have pulled the best people from all across the city who have experience in arts and history, community engagement. I've poached staff from the mayor's office, and of course, Office of Emergency Preparedness to make sure that we host a really fun, safe, inclusive event that's open and accessible to everyone. We're really proud of this building. Most people aren't aware that Boise Parks and Recreation maintains and manages it unless you've had a wedding there or you've had to reserve it for another special event. But we're really proud of it and take a lot of pride in taking good care of it and sharing it with the community. So I'm grateful for all of the people. I don't have time to name them all, but I will be sure to do something very nice for them when their service ends, because we've been meeting for over a year monthly, which is a big ask of city staff because we all have a lot on our plates. I wanted to give you a little look at the flair and the vibe and the look that we've created. The poster that you see on the left is now up all around town with details and a QR code that goes to our website that has a bunch more information, and we're updating that honestly weekly at this point with things as they get locked in. But we really tried to take inspiration from opening day with the apple blossom girls that you see there. Our arts and history team has pulled a lot of really cool stuff from the archives that's available on the website. And I've had a lot of media interest already from people wanting to tell stories about this building and rail service. So that's been really fun to see. We've created a special pin. I have stickers to give you after the meeting. And for those that aren't here, I'll make sure I get those to you. But we have some fun merch that we've created, and sales from those items will go back toward restoration and improvements at the depot. So we really just want to give people a lot of opportunity to experience the building and really build a stake in its future, because we know how important it is. As I said, arts and history has been a huge part of this planning process, and they've got some cool things that they will have throughout the celebration. They're working on a special history exhibit. This is just an example of kind of what it will look like, but that will be lasting. So what they're putting together with the help of a local research firm will be something that we can have on site at the depot when we host our open houses and have events with schools and things like that, that tells the history of rail labor in the 1920s and just has some really cool storytelling about the building and the history surrounding it. And then on the right, that is a mock-up. We have two local artists who are creating some stop motion animated projection art that will be projected on the building every night throughout the centennial celebration, which is a first. We have not done this before at the depot. And it's going to be a different theme all 4 nights. So they took community engagement at Open Streets Boise and created kind of what people envision rail might look like in the future. There's incorporation of historical images. It's just like a very unique way to utilize the building and bring people together at a time when usually at night the depot is dark, there's nothing going on, but we wanted to activate the space in a new and exciting way. I think the comment we got was, this is like a big city thing that we're doing, which I think is a good thing. So really grateful for that team and all they've put together for this, and we're excited to unveil it in April. We've also worked with 3 local artists to create commemorative poster designs. This is one of them by Julia Green. She's very well known in the community. If you have one of the library cards that she designed, she has such a whimsical, fun style, and I think this just perfectly captures the excitement and spirit of this celebration that we're hosting. These are limited, and we will have them for sale at the celebration as well. So again, trying to support local artists and really bring the community in unique ways and commemorate the 100th anniversary in unique ways. All right, so here's the breakdown, and we've solidified some things so I can mention those, but we really wanted to provide a variety of ways for people to get involved, obviously free and open to the community, with the goal of sharing the history of the depot, activating the space, which is such a unique community gathering space. So Sunday is our family day, and if you've been to one of our anniversary open houses in the past, this is like that on steroids. So we will have model trains and food trucks, pop-up things for kids. We're going to have a super cool interactive art station that our arts team from Fort Boise is putting together that kids will get to take home. just really creating opportunities for tours. And for the first time, we're going to be offering our tours in Spanish, and we will also have ASL interpretation. So we'll be promoting that leading up to the event because we really do want to make it accessible and this history accessible to everyone. So that's really exciting, and it has been a great collaboration with our community engagement office here at the city. Monday, we're really focusing in on tours. We want to offer that as another opportunity in case you don't want to come to the family day. It's probably going to be very busy. It'll be kind of a more chill, casual environment where you can come, take a tour, walk around the depot, check out that history exhibit, and we'll have coffee and a food vendor that morning as well. And then on Tuesday, we're working with CityCast Boise to hopefully do a live podcast recording where we'll talk about rail and transportation and kind of the vision for what the mayor's office has been working on and trying to bring in some unique voices to that. So we actually have a meeting on Monday to talk through what that will look like because we have never done a live podcast recording at the depot, but we have a great team and I think it'll be a super cool offering for people and a forum to talk about kind of the future of rail and transportation in the city. And then also just maybe incorporating some of the artists that we've been working with, letting them have some availability for talks and to talk through their inspiration. So Tuesday is another day where we'll just have a lot of pop-up things going on. And we've been talking with some different groups on potential performances. So still working through that, but just a great venue to have some different things that people can pop in for. And then Wednesday night is the big 100th birthday celebration. So we are going with a roaring 1920s theme. You're welcome to dress up or not. We want to keep it casual for those that need it, but I do know there will be some people that go all out. We'll have people in period dress. We're going to have a cake and do a toast. We'll have Lost Grove providing some drinks, activating that Barklow Brothers bar, which if you've been to an event at the depot, that's a pretty classic setup. And then we have a photo booth, activities for kids, and we've just booked the BSU Jazz Band who will be doing a full like big band performance that night. So it's going to be really fun, a great celebratory vibe. And we'll have some other surprises thrown in there too, just to kind of commemorate this experience. And again, all 4 nights, there will be this art projection experience that will be happening. So Wednesday night, when we have that party, the projection will be happening outside. So our vision is really people milling around, having opportunities to check out different aspects of the building, and activate different spaces so that we can accommodate a larger crowd, but it doesn't feel so stuffy, I guess is our hope. So yeah. And last but not least, additional details to be aware of. We are working through the parking plan and we do have shuttles scheduled to run both Sunday and Wednesday night. That can be a difficult place parking wise. And so obviously encouraging biking and walking, but we wanted to make a shuttle service from Ann Morrison Park available for people so that they can just hop on. It'll be every 15 minutes. We've had great success with that with Zoo Boise events and going all the way back to X Games. So we knew that was something we wanted to prioritize with the budget. Arts and history has obviously a lot of opportunities for oral history gathering and storytelling. We want to be putting some things in the archives through this event. We've had people reach out with super cool photos and pamphlets from back in the day, and we've just been working to catalog that and get some of their stories, not only for the archives, but social media and just kind of community celebration. I mentioned the translation services that we're working through, just trying to make sure this is an accessible event, photo and video commemoration. So we've got that all scheduled and it'll be going on throughout the year, honestly. And then community partnerships and recognitions. We've obviously worked with Union Pacific and Amtrak. They're fully aware of all that's happening here. Morrison Knutson, the Depot Bench Neighborhood Association, just really trying to reach out to all those different stakeholders, get them involved, give them opportunities to be a part of this community celebration because we know how important this building is and how iconic it is to the city. And then, yes, we have requested a train visit. If you recall, the last time a steam engine came to Boise was 2017-18. I just joined the city and we had thousands of people show up to see that train. So we're kind of like girding our loins for what this could be if it comes. I don't know why that's the phrase that came to mind, but it did. And I'm looking at Sarah. That's what happened. We're prepared for anything. Because we do know it will be highly popular. We've gotten a lot of requests. It's just based on their schedule, their timing, their budget. It's a possibility. So we will be kind of just waiting and seeing what happens with that. I see you laughing at me. And then last but not least, the webpage is right there. We have a ton of information. It's easy to find on cityofboise.org, easy to find if you're going to the park specific homepage. And again, that is like our one-stop shop. We're pointing everyone there as we lock in details, as we get the shuttle map and the parking, and we will have a full advertising and marketing campaign that really ramps up in March. So you will see ads on TV, you will hear about it on the radio. We're working on some digital ads with Boise Dev and other opportunities just to get the word out about this opportunity. So trying to leave no stone unturned, make sure everyone's aware that this is happening, and provide some great opportunities to celebrate this wonderful Boise building and the history of rail really in our city. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Shelton. Do I have any questions or comments from commission members or Council Member Morales?
I have a quick comment. First of all, great job, Bonnie and team. This is such, as you said, an iconic building. It's been on national television. I'm going to channel Doug here a little bit. Every time I watch a Boise State game, it's either the Foothills or the Boise Depot. And it is an old building, and it does need a lot of renovation and a lot of care. And we're working with our friends in Public Works to schedule some of those renovations so that we can keep this building open and available to the public while we also give it the tender loving care that it needs. So I want to make sure that we take a moment to say thank you to them for that dedication. The other thing I just wanted to point out is the opportunity here to overlap internally with the city, with our arts and history department. This building is so unique, and I'm so excited to see how the art and the history will be displayed. I plan to bring my family to the Roaring 20s. I might need some help with the dress, situation, but
You got it.
thank you. But this is just, I think this is kind of like an example of the best of Boise. So thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. This is going to be exciting. I can't wait to go. Anybody else?
Got one item. Specifically on the art, the animated art piece. I think it's really, really cool that you all are doing that. I really like when the city kind of tries something. I think that's the neat piece. Like, I know it's probably very nerve-wracking of doing something for the first time, but I think things like this are really cool ways for the city to lead in what's possible. And like, maybe we're not always the most out there in doing things and trying things as a community at large, not just a city. And so I really love that you all are using I went to a city session of envisioning things for the zoning code and what are the iconic structures in town, and there's not a lot. It was actually kind of surprising to go through that and kind of like, oh yeah, there's not a ton of history for various reasons. And so I think this is a really cool one to try and it's a very historic thing with forward facing technology and things like that. I think that's awesome that you all are working to do that. So I thought that was cool.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I have to say, I have worked at the city for 8 years. I've done a lot of events, and I feel so much support from our mayor and council and department leadership, honestly, to do just that. Try new things, obviously within reason. But this team really came up with a lot of cool ideas, and we got a lot of runway to do some cool stuff, which I feel like doesn't always happen. So I feel like we've had great support. They understand, the vision that we're trying to create. And I feel really lucky to get to kind of play in that space. So we just want to live up to all those expectations. I hope you'll come.
That's great. And then just one other item, because you touched on parking, and I know that's always a hot button issue, but I think whatever can be done to incentivize walking and biking, again, the city with the road thing is always really hard to do in terms of we can only control what we can control. But I think when you put on programs like this, whatever can be done to even go that extra step to get folks out of their vehicles to who is available to do that, I think would be fantastic for this, because it's a great place to get to via other ways other than driving. So it's cool. And whatever else you can do to support that would be great.
Totally.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate both these updates. Very informative. Looks like the next thing on the agenda is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. The
Aye.
meeting is adjourned.